Hello everyone, welcome to Notsoworkholic. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get regular updates. In today's video of the Career in Canada video series, I'm going to continue the discussion on CPA Canada. In my previous video, I explained the process for registration of CPA Canada, what all documents are required initially, and the authorities or the provincial bodies that you can apply for registering with CPA Canada. After watching the previous video, it's now time for you to learn about the fee structure, the study material available, and how the experience is evaluated. For the first step of registration, which requires the good standing letter to be sent to the CPA provincial body, there is no fee. But if you want processing to be done really fast, then there is a fee of around $30. Now comes the stage where you register as a student and pay a fee of $430 Canadian excluding tax. After your student registration, you also need to pay your candidate dues, which will be half yearly or full depending on the time you register. As explained in my previous video, capstones are not mandatory. Each capstone costs around $1260 Canadian excluding tax. Capstone 2 is all about workshop and practicing cases. In regards to the registration dates, you now need to pay for the form and final exam fees, which is around $1,500 Canadian. This is how the fee structure of a candidate who decides to go for Capstone 2 looks like, including the CFE costs. So it's around $4,210 without taxes. CPA Canada provides the required material for the exam, and you get the access for this no-share material, which includes the handbook for exam reference and the major source of study, the learning ebook. In addition to the ebook, one can also use the MCQs and survival guides available for various subjects on the Desire to Learn platform. Before getting access to the no-share material, I would suggest to go for these resources. CPA Way, available on CPA Canada website, is helpful in understanding how to answer the case-based questions. In order to get the CPA designation, CPA Canada requires 30 months of practical training. For international accountants, this training can be exempted if the following criteria are satisfied. So if you have post-qualification 2 years of experience along with a recognized university degree, you're exempt. Similarly, if you have 5 years of post-qualification experience without a recognized university degree, you are exempt. The only condition is that you have to submit your resume at the time of registration. So the resume is evaluated, a detailed resume. It's more or less like a detailed experience report that you prepare. For those candidates who have less than 2 years of experience, that is post-qualification experience, it doesn't mean that you won't get the exemption. It only means that your pre and post qualification experience will be evaluated, and accordingly exemption will be granted. So be ready to submit your resume and then start the process. If after evaluation you are required to report your experience under the PERT tool, then I would recommend you to go to the practical experience orientation course available on the D2L platform to be able to report your experience under the PERT tool. Before actually starting the real preparation, it will be great if you could study what's the exam pattern like, because it's not same as the question answer format that we used to follow. CFE CPA Canada is a 3-day exam where the day 1's evaluation is done separately, whereas day 2 and day 3 are evaluated together, meaning that if you pass or fail day 1, that won't affect your passing or failing of day 2 and day 3 combined. To gain more clarity, if a candidate clears day 1 and day 2 but fails in day 3, then that candidate will have to repeat day 2 and day 3 next time. It is imperative to clear both day 2 and day 3 together. There could be cases where a candidate clears day 2 and day 3 but is not able to clear day 1. So, in that case, the candidate will repeat the exam for only day 1 and not for all 3 days. All these 3 days, typing speed and time management are the two most important things. Talking about day 1 is all about enabling competencies. Day 1 won't test the technical knowledge, but it will be based on the situational and strategic analysis. The case that comes for day 1 is a pre-decided case that a candidate chooses, and the question or the analysis that is asked in the exam is based on that particular case. The case analysis asked in the exam is usually few years ahead of the original case studied. This is how the 3 days of CFE will look like. First day will be 4 hours in length. Second day will be a 5 hours exam where depth is required in financial reporting, management accounting, and one elective could be any of the 4 different roles like performance management, assurance, finance, and taxation. Remember, when you choose this elective, be sure whether you want to go for CPA practice in future or not. For that, you need to have studied FR and assurance. And the final day of CFE is a 4 hours long exam with 3 different cases to be solved within that time frame. That's all for today's video. If this video was of any help to you, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.